So start laying down on your back with your feet hip width apart and your heels under the knees. Arms rested by the side of the body and your shoulders down the back. Start from your tailbone, so if you rock your pelvis back and then peel your spine away from the floor, one vertebrae at a time, pushing the hips up to the ceiling until you get across the back of the shoulders. Then on the way down, roll the spine back down to the floor, one vertebrae at a time. Good, well done. So the two variations, so Helen is going to stack your knees over the top of your hips at a 90-degree angle, engage into the abdominals and then peel the upper body off the floor, reaching the hands towards the feet. Luke, if you stack your knees and straighten the legs out, peel the upper body off the floor, lift the arms in this position. So you're going to bat the arms up and down from the shoulders and count the breath. So you're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Roll your body down, head down. Float the feet back down to the floor. So bend your knees, Luke. Bring the feet down. Well done. Start by lying on your back. Stack both knees over the top of the hips. Helen's going to keep the head down. Luke, you curl your upper body off the floor. So extend one leg out to 45 degrees. So Luke, you're going to catch the other opposite and then switch. And switch. So you can hold the leg for an inhale, exhale as you switch. Good. So Helen, if you start by stacking your knees over the top of your hips. Luke, you do the same. So stack both knees over the hips. Luke, you curl your upper body off the floor. So you're going to exhale, shoot the legs out, take both arms over your head, and then inhale, pull the knees in, circle the arms round. Exhale, extend, inhale, in. Good. Okay, catch the knees, lower the head, and then float both feet down to the floor. So Luke, if you stack this knee over the top of your hip, Helen, you're going to do the straight leg. So point the toe to the ceiling. So circle from the hip, out and round. So you ideally hold this knee still, and you're drawing a circle with this knee. So keep the foot in line with the knee, and try and keep your pelvis still. Good. So Luke's going to start with his knees bent. Helen, you anchor your legs to pull your toes towards your shins. Take your arms overhead. So just watch out. So soften the ribs. Soften the ribs down, Luke. Okay, so you're going to take a breath in, engage into the core. As you exhale, float the arms overhead and curl up to seated. Sit tall. And then on the way down, curl through the spine. Slowly roll back down. Taking the arms overhead, softening the ribs. So Helen, stack one knee over the hip and then the other knee over the hip. And you're going to tap one foot down to the floor and then switch. Luke, you curl your upper body off the floor, stretch this leg out, hover about an inch off the mat, and then lift this leg up to the ceiling. Hold the leg and then switch. And then switch. Good. Okay, so Helen, just float your feet down. Luke, pull both knees into the chest, bend your knees, float the head down, and then float your feet down. So lay down on your tummy with your legs hip width apart and your spine in neutral. So you breathe in. As you exhale, lift one arm and the opposite leg and float the head and chest off the floor and then lower it down. So Helen's keeping the head down. Luke is lifting his head and chest. So lift and lengthen. Good. Let's do one more, Luke. That's it. So start laying on the tummy with your legs about shoulder width apart. Lower body stays relaxed and spine is in neutral. So bring your arms to this position, your elbows in line with the shoulders and your wrists in line with the elbows. So take a deep breath in as you draw the tummy in. Then exhale, float the head, chest and arms away from the floor. And Helen's going to keep the arms down. So as you float up, keep the chin tucked and the neck long. So use the upper body and keep your glutes and lower back relaxed. Let's do one more. And float down. So Helen's going to stay with her head down on the floor, forehead rested onto the hands. As you see, Luke is up on his forearms, elbows underneath the shoulders, pelvis tucked under so the belly is slightly lifted away from the floor. So you're going to pull one foot in towards the bottom, flexing at the knee, point the toe, then flex the ankle, then point, and then extend, change sides. So point, sit, and then down again. Sit. Start again on the tummy with the forehead rested on the mat. So interlace your fingers at the base of the spine, relax your shoulders and elbows down towards the floor. So start by pulling the feet in towards the bottom. Then as you extend, lift the head and chest, squeeze the shoulders and push the fingers down. Then as you lower, pull the legs back in. Good. Do one more, Luke. Okay, just relax and then bring the feet back down. Luke is doing the full version in a plank position with his wrists under his shoulders, core engaged. Helen is doing the lower level. So she's on all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. So Helen's going to tuck her toes and just hover the knees about a centimetre off the floor and then return back down. Luke is going to lift one leg up to hip height and then lower down and change legs. Keeping the hips still. That's it. Okay, so last one. Luke is doing the version laying on his side. As you can see, Helen is up on her knees. So you're going to lift the leg to hip height, pull your toes forward, and then swing the leg forward from the hip, then point the toes and swing it back. That's it. So, good. So just pull it back and then float the leg down. So Helen is doing the full version. She's sitting with her legs out, anchoring her legs into the floor. Spine is nice and long and arms at shoulder height. Luke is sat cross-legged with his hands on his shoulders. So lift and lengthen through the spine, breathing in as you pull the tummy in. So as you exhale, twist the spine. That's it. So inhale, come to the center. Exhale, go the other way. Keep the hips still and the neck in line. Just one more to this side. So recenter. Luke is going to start with his legs about shoulder width apart and the hands on the floor in front of him. Whereas Helen, her legs are in line with the hips and her arms are at shoulder height. So you breathe in as you draw the tummy in. Lengthen the spine as if you're coming up and out of the sit bones and stretch your spine forwards and then rebuild from the base. So stack from the lower back, rebuild until you're back to seated. So start in a seated position with your legs out wide, anchor the legs into the floor. Sit tall, lengthen the spine and then bring the arms out wide to shoulder height. So inhale to lengthen. So as you exhale, you're going to turn, twist the chest, and then slide the hand to the outside of the leg. Rotate back to the center, and then go the other way. So twist and reach. Starting seated, Helen has her ankles crossed and holding her feet, whereas Luke just has his knees bent and he's holding his shins. So breathe in, pull the tummy in, tuck the pelvis under, and then rock back and rock back up to seated again. So rolling back and then rolling back up. Well done. Luke's going to do a version in a box position with his knees bent. So his knees are bent, hands under shoulders, push the hips up. Helen is doing the straight leg version. Luke, lift one knee to tabletop, so knee comes over the hip. Helen, lift one foot to ceiling. And then change sides. So focus on keeping the hips up and the pelvis level as you're lifting and lowering each leg. That's it. So bring the feet down, lower the hips down. Standing, the legs hip width apart. Stand nice and tall with your shoulders back and down and the core engaged. We're starting with a roll down. So tuck the chin and roll down through the spine. Soften the knees. Get your chest as close to the thighs and relax the neck. Then hands to the floor. Walk out. Luke will do the full press up as Helen is going onto the hands and knees into a box position. Is it good? Then once you have done your press ups, walk the hands back to the feet, to the forward fold position, rolling up through the spine to restack the spine, back to standing.